everybody. Let me start by wishing everybody a happy 901 day. Great day to celebrate this wonderful city and the culture of our 901. You guys know I'm call myself a Memphian, and I love it. And I believe blue for sure. So happy 901 day to all you guys out there. Hope everybody's safe and sound. Great practice. Obviously, we're getting excited, right? September 1st. Couldn't be happier, right? Getting closer to kickoff. Our young men feel it. They're excited. And, everything I talked to them about now having a sense of urgency. And like we talked about, if we need extra motivation, knowing it's a national television game, the only show on town that evening, there'll be a lot of excitement. So another Tuesday practice in the books. We got to continue to prepare. We know what a wonderful opponent Arkansas State is, and we can't wait to get them here on Saturday.
All right, Terry Davis with the first question.
How you doing, Coach?
Good, Terry. I like that shirt, man.
Appreciate it. A question. I know things going to be a little bit different, and we have a lot of tradition coming on Memphis. Tiger Walk, you're going to have your former players out, greeting your team out. How would game day be for this first game coming back under COVID?
Yeah, there certainly are going to be a lot of different protocols. And first and foremost, it's a shame that we can't do a Tiger Walk with our fans, our wonderful fans. Even though we do a walk the night before at the Liberty Bowl, and we have former Tigers there, you're exactly right, to talk to our team. And we'll still go to the Liberty Bowl the night before and do our walk, but unfortunately we can't have so many of our, alumni there that could talk to us. That was always a special place, and hopefully we'll get back to that here before too long. Then on game day, you're right, we're not going to be able to, get off the buses and shake so many of our wonderful fans' hands. We're going to get off the buses. I still am going to have our guys dressed in a coat and tie. I think that's important because it's the business approach, right? I always talk to them about, I was fortunate to coach in the NFL. Every single one of the guys wore a suit, and it's the business mindset that we're going to work. And, we're so fortunate we get to do it in the Liberty Bowl. So we'll look a little different on game day. Obviously, running out the stands instead of having 59,000 plus screaming fans, it will be 4,500. But we're going to take advantage of playing at home, a place we're comfortable, and it will look different, but I'm trying to prepare our guys for that right mindset going ahead.
Jen, is it my go? You muted a second ago.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, we can.
Go ahead, Steven.
Evan Barnes was doing the Dr. Evil hands. I liked it.
Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Good, Steven. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing okay.
I got to get you a different color shirt. I mean, come on, man. Can't have you wearing red this week.
I just woke up. Man. My bad.
Man.
Late sleeper, but I know you said yesterday you wanted to kind of wait till either some paperwork was signed or until the player came out publicly. Kenny put a statement to his Twitter yesterday. Are you at liberty to talk about that decision more, or is it still something you guys are keeping in-house?
Sure. I don't mind briefly talking about it, Stephen, then we'll keep it at this. But, like I said, I support any player that decides to opt out, support Kenny in his decision. I wish him nothing but the best. He's a class act, a young man that did the right way, and I support his decision. And, since he's decided to, him and I have not had those discussions. Obviously, my focus now turned on to our current roster, right? It's a next man up mentality. And that will be the way, regardless of once we have guys that either they graduate, opt out, or whatever. Obviously, I'm always have concern and care and love for them. But, really my focus now needs to turn on to our current roster. And, the guys that we have in place, the depth at the running back position, we're really excited.
You can go ahead, Jen, if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Ryan, so last season you guys faced a couple teams that had kind of a two quarterback situation. Temple had that situation. Obviously with Cincinnati, you guys had to play against two different quarterbacks. How does that prepare you for Arkansas State? Just because obviously they did announce who's going to be starting, but they're expecting to play, two guys.
Evan, they've got two wonderful quarterbacks. So like I mentioned yesterday, I think they've got two guys that could play on most collegiate rosters. They both have different skill sets. They both present different challenges to our defense. And you're right, our defense did have the ability to play against two different quarterbacks in multiple games. So that will prepare them. Obviously, it's a new defensive scheme. But, I think we're preparing for it. We're even trying to give them different looks in scout team. the different skill sets. So I know Coach McIntyre's seen a lot of different quarterbacks throughout his career, but we're preparing both ways. You know, the film study as well is just as important.
Does it?
Nice
Right,
shirt, Steven. Appreciate it.
All right,
I like
Devin.
you guys. Go ahead, Evan. I'm sorry.
No, just as a quick follow-up, does it help for this experience group, even with Coach Mack in there, that they have had to prepare for, you know, multiple quarterbacks in the game before, just like last year?
Absolutely, I think so, because it's not a, oh my gosh, what do we got to do? Why do we got to study, you know, different things? It's like we have a veteran group on defense. They've had that, you know, especially you look at the back end guys, DBs that face different quarterbacks, linebackers with, you know, reading different quarterbacks' eyes, different, like I said, whether it's a run threat or, you know, a better passer. But they're preparing for both. And I do think having that experience certainly will help.
All right, Devin.
Hey, Coach. Happy 901 day to you, man.
Thank you, Devin. Appreciate it, man. You too.
I want to ask you about the city of Memphis. You've been there for a couple of years. What do you, from your perspective, what makes the city of Memphis so special, and what makes it so much different than other places?
Yeah, like I always say for people, just something about Memphis, right? When people say, tell me about Memphis, I say just Memphis. But the reality of it is it's the people that make this place. And I think, you know, we talk about that grit and grind mentality. I truly mean it. I love the people here. I think most Memphians have a chip on their shoulder, and, you know, they're going to work hard. And I think that's that edge to them, right? To know that, hey, it is Memphis versus everybody. And I truly believe that in my heart of hearts. I kind of, you know, feel the same way myself, just coming, you know, I'm a guy that didn't play down in college football, you know, started coaching when I was 18 years old and didn't know anybody in this profession, you know, coach D3s, you know, high school, all those things. And so I've kind of kept that grinder mentality. And so I'd like to think that, you know, the city has accepted me for my love for it, you know, obviously the culture, the people, but I think it's the people that make the 901. That's why this place is so damn special.
Okay, Clayton.
Hey, Coach. You know, just looking at last year, you had a week 1 injury to Patrick Taylor, and then that's what allowed Kenny to really burst on the scene. Now you have this situation where you're losing, you know, your lead back again, you know, going into this. You know, is this a situation that your team has already been prepared for in that regard, even though they're a little different? And also, who do you expect to really, you know, become that Kenny Gainwell for this year, essentially?
I think, you know, having had to go through that, I think our guys understand that there's a next man up mentality. I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, Clayton, we challenge our guys to constantly study film. You know, Maurice Claret came and talked to the team, and he talked about his freshman year. He was 6th on the depth chart. And next thing you know, he was a freshman All-American just by working your way up, right? You talk about injuries, you talk about different circumstances that occur. And so you never know when your number's called. And we tell our guys that, and now it's more so than ever, obviously, right, with what's occurring with COVID, that everybody has to be prepared because you never know what could happen. And so, you know, our guys haven't skipped a beat, especially in that running back room. You know, I like I said before, I think Drake Clark, Marcavius Weaver, Asa Martin, Kylan Granberry, you know, just to name a few, Kylan Watkins, right? Cameron Fleming. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys that we expect to fill that role in there. Obviously, we're going to miss number 19, but I've got no fear. I've got great support and belief in the guys in that room.
All right, Terry.
Hey, Coach, I know you one of the ones to say control what you can control. So how's your offense clicking? You know, since we can't see them, how's the chemistry going so far, and how far on your scale of 1 to 10 are you to being where you wanted to be?
Well, I'll tell you, even if hopefully after a bowl game, I can still tell you I'll never get us up to a 10, but I believe we're clicking the right way. You know, we're trying to get on all the cylinders. Obviously, early in the season, it never looks as good as it does later in the season. But we're continuing to, you know, mesh, right, the timing of routes, the passes, the handoffs, right? You talk about those type of deals. I think those are things that we're going to continue to work on, and hopefully we improve by game time, but also week for week. And we take it a one day at a time approach. But I do think, like, the offense is clicking. I think we've got a lot of young guys that have stepped up and trying to fill those roles, trying to find some depth on offense, which is going to be important to us moving forward. But, you know, obviously it all starts with number 3 and prior to the way Brady's led, and then obviously his connection with Coxie. Like I said, you know, Sean Dykes has done a wonderful job. Talk about all those backs filling in and our offensive lines coming together nicely.
Okay, we're going to do 3 more questions here. Steven, go ahead.
Coach, when it comes to attacking Arkansas State on defense, what areas do you feel the team is kind of confident you guys will have an advantage in? And also, if things go the way you all want them to, how many running backs do you think will get touches this Saturday?
You know, Arkansas State's pretty darn solid, but the defensive line linebackers ended their secondary. Like I said, they've got an all-conference safety. They got an all-conference nose guard. In fact, they had 2 nose guards that played a lot of reps last year. And those are the guys that are difference makers. You know, those middle guys in the hole, they can plug holes. They got linebackers that are fast flowing. So I don't see many weaknesses in their defense. I think they're pretty darn solid all around. And they're going to present challenges to us. You know, you look at first games over the course of history, especially since I've been at Memphis, it's not like we've been able to put up a ton of numbers, right? So we know we're going to have to play smart, play efficient against a sound Arkansas State defense. They're well coached. And then how many running backs, how many do we have in the room? And maybe every single one of them will get a touch.
Okay, Evan.
Ryan, earlier you mentioned that there's obviously going to be a small crowd there. I know you guys prepared by not playing music at scrimmages and, you know, limiting the music. If you did limit the music practice, I don't know if you did, but can you think of any situation that this compares to maybe for you as a coach or for any of these guys? Like, is it like a high school memory or anything that kind of compares to what it's going to be like having this, you know, such a small crowd there?
You know, earlier in my coaching career, we played some games against the teams. You know, I've played, and I don't mind being candid. There was times when I came to the Liberty Bowl when I was actually grad assistant at Central Florida, and it was a limited crowd. And, you know, like you said, you got to motivate your guys, and they can't worry about it. I mentioned, you know, I was talking about some adversity when I was with the Minnesota Vikings, you know, the year that Coach Childress, after going to the NFC Championship, got let go. Well, we ended up, our Metrodome collapsed. And then we had to play a home game in Detroit versus the Giants. So let me say that again. It was with the Vikings. We had to play a home game in Detroit versus the Giants. And it was a kind of an interesting crowd, right? They had let in some people up on the upper decks, and it was just a different deal. So it was kind of an eerie feeling. But I think there'll be excitement. I think our guys aren't going to worry about, you know, the number of people in the stands. They're just more excited to get out there and play on a national level.
Okay, Devin, you got the last question.
All right, Coach, I know you talked a lot about the football aspect of Saturday and what to expect and the COVID and everything. What is going to be your fit for the sideline? I know a lot of coaches have their own kind of like personal style. Are you going to go casual? Are you going to go dry fit? What are you going to do on the sideline for your first game in the Bowl?
Well, Devin, as you well know, I don't have a whole lot of fashion sense. So whatever they probably hang up on that hanger in the locker room, I'm a pretty bland guy. In fact, I'm probably the oldest 40-year-old. These guys make fun of me because I still wear some of those old throwback Pete Carroll wide shoes that look like the old New Balances. They're actually Nike ones, but I'm sure I'll let the players, the leadership council, pick out. You guys can ask Jacoby, see if he's got any good outfits that I can wear. He's got more fashion sense than I do. So when he comes on, maybe they can pick my outfit and we'll roll with it.